do actually sound like you're making excuses for them. I'm really sorry, but it does sound like that.
Please listen to every word that I'm saying. It is easy to condemn atrocities that we have nothing to do with. We have nothing to do with the atrocities committed by Hamas. It is much more difficult to oppose crimes that we are connected to. And we are connected to the war crimes that are carried out now by the Israeli state against the Palestinian people, which they announced that they were going to carry out, because our government is providing them with military support, as it has done for a long time, and is providing with diplomatic cover.
But we wouldn't have to be doing this if those people who were going about their business on Saturday, being at music festivals and having family gatherings, hadn't been startled by men with machine guns arriving in their garden.
Yes, of course, that's horrific. And no one should say that it isn't horrific, and no one should be defending the killing of civilians. But, you know, if we are to look at this from the point of view of where we are currently sitting, right, and what crimes are we connected to, and can we have some role in trying to bring an end to? We have a responsibility because we are connected we're sitting here, we're citizens of the UK, and we are involved, therefore, in the horrific, you can describe in the most emotive terms you want, the crimes that are being committed right now in Gaza and will carry on for a very long time. Now, where do you draw the starting point line? Of course, you know, for a cycle of atrocities, earlier in our conversation, we were talking about 2006 and how there's been a siege on Gaza for this period of time. Dawn was talking about what a large percentage of the population of Gaza will have only known that period of time.
But it does sound, Dawn, it sounds a bit like there's an equivalence here. And from where I'm sitting, even with a modicum of knowledge of what's happened over the last few decades, there is no equivalence right now.
The way people talk about this, I mean, not just James, I'm not talking James here, but the way people talk
you can, that's why he's here.
Well, I know, but the way people talk about what Hamas have done, they are a terrorist organisation, they are recognised as such. In their charter, they state that the Day of Judgment, all Jews will be killed. This isn't about Israel, this is not about Palestine, this is about eliminating all Jewish people.
Do you recognise? You do recognise them as a terrorist
There's no but about that.
I recognise that their actions are atrocities that, if we apply a standard definition of terrorism, falls under terrorism.
But do you apply that as definition of terrorism?
Yes, but only consistently. So I think that Israel also carries out terrorist state actions against the Palestinian people in Gaza and is carrying out war crimes under international law. I think these things should be applied. Do
you think those war crimes are happening now, though?
Yes, the war crimes are happening right now. War crimes are happening at this very moment. At collective punishment... Hold on. This is extremely important. Under international law, collective punishment is a war crime. What they have done is to collectively punish 2.3 million people, half of whom are children, for Hamas's atrocities. That is a war crime by definition. Now, that's even without looking at the indiscriminate bombing. That is even without having Netanyahu say that he wants to turn Gaza into...
I'm sorry, James, but you do actually sound like you're making excuses for them.
I'm not making... I'm sorry.
I'm really sorry, but it does sound like that.
Please listen to every word that I'm saying, because I'm not making... I'm not making any excuses. You can't say... In fact, I would turn it around and say exactly the other way around. I think people are making excuses for these war crimes on the basis of other crimes. I think we should be able to say these atrocities are atrocities and these crimes are crimes.
As I started out, yes, absolutely, and many Israelis, many Jewish people do not agree with what their country is doing. Many Palestinians do not agree with what Hamas are doing. But I can't get my head round, when we're talking about Hamas's atrocities, the murders, the beheading of innocent babies in their cots, that there is even a but to that conversation. But Israel have done this, but the world have done this. There is no but. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Of course, two wrongs don't make a right. The argument that two wrongs make a right is precisely the argument that is being made by our government and Keir Starmer and the front bench of the Labour Party when they are asked, is this a war crime? Do you support this war crime? And they say Israel has every right to defend itself. You do not. You have a right to defend yourself. You have no right whatsoever to commit war crimes against other people.
But they're not
Let's be
condoning the
very
war
clear.
crimes. They're saying Israel has a right to defend
yes, they
itself.
are. Oh, yes, they are.
You always put a
yes,
but in when we're talking about the atrocities, the murders of babies that Hamas have committed.